Since we've already taken a look at the US coins, let's now instead focus our attention on 10 of the most expensive world coins to have sold at auction during the course of 2020. And to kick the list off with style, we have one of the most desirable and fascinating coins from the Royal Mint, and England's largest hammered coin to boot. Although, if you really want to get technical, then the coin was not minted at the London Mint at all, which was at the time controlled by the parliamentary forces, or the Roundheads as they were known, but rather at the hastily erected Oxford Mint, which was under the royalist control during this particular stage of the English Civil War. But this coin is not only significant due to its sheer size, rarity, and that it represents a genuine turning point in British numismatics in terms of quality. Historically, it holds tremendous significance, bearing Charles I's Wellington Declaration, as well as a very fine portrait of Charles himself as well, who is today best remembered as the only ruling British monarch to have been executed. This is the third finest known specimen of its type, and was graded here by NGC as MS62+ when it sold at auction in April's Central States Signature Auction by Heritage for $360,000. Then we have a patterned 2 Guinea gold coin from very early on in the reign of George III, the first attempt to establish such a large denomination gold coin for circulation, with subsequent attempts to follow in 1773 and 1777. There would also follow a similar attempt for a 5 Guinea coin in 1770, as well as the latter two dates. However, since gold was largely overvalued in the English economy at that time, the trend was towards smaller denomination gold coins, such as the 3rd Guinea that was created in 1797 instead, relegating these larger 2 and 5 Guinea gold coins purely as patterns until the denomination was abolished altogether during the Great Recoinage of 1816. Graded by NGC as Proof 64+ Star Cameo, it sold at auction for $384,000. We head towards the Eastern Hemisphere for our next coin, a patterned Chinese dollar from 1911, known simply as the long-whiskered dragon, owing to the overly long whiskers on the dragon's face that easily distinguishes this from the regular issue coins of the same denomination. Designed by the head of the Central Mint at Tianjin, Mr. Luigi Gheorghi, who served as head designer and chief engraver from 1910 all the way to 1920, who was also responsible for the designs of all of the 1911 patterns, including the 1914 Yuan Shikai coins and a great many other designs, too numerous to mention here. The coin was graded by PCGS as SP65 and sold at auction by Stax in October for $456,000. The next coin is an extremely special and very possibly a unique British trade dollar coin from 1896. Now, of course, this is normally a silver coin, but here the coin is struck in a gold planchet, which was 30% larger, or, well, that is to say heavier, than what would normally be seen for such a coin, quite possibly as a presentation coin to the governor of Hong Kong at that time. The trade dollars were issued by the British from 1866 all the way through to 1935 as a means to stabilize the local economies of Asiatic and Eastern colonial territories following the collapse or either disbursement of the former maritime empires, and the then subsequent withdrawal or disappearance from the economies of the accompanying coinage, such as counterstruck Spanish 8 reales or German thalers and so forth. The French would then eventually also follow suit with their very own French Indochina colonial piastre coins as well from 1885 onwards. This coin, however, was graded by NGC as Proof 64. The coin was sold by MDC of Monaco for $471,200 200 euros, or the equivalent of around 551,500 US dollars in their landmark number 6 auction. And then our next coin is a bit of an enigma within Chinese numismatics. The 1910 Yunnan spring dollar, so called for the inclusion of the 7 Chinese characters across the top instead of the traditional 4 that translate roughly towards made in the spring 1910 in Yunnan province. The vexing thing about this is that no one really knows exactly why this coin was made, or why the inscription was altered, or even what it means exactly. Should it be interpreted literally, for instance, or figuratively instead? I mean, the coin's very existence was not even discovered until around 1920, a full decade after it was minted. And to date, only 3 such coins have been verified to exist. The current specimen was graded by NGC as AU58 and sold at auction for $660,000 by Heritage during the Hong Kong International Numismatics Fair sale. Our next coin is a 5 guinea from the co-regency of William and Mary, dated 1693, only 1 year before Mary's death from smallpox in 1694, though the coin is in remarkably well-preserved condition. As the finest known of its issue, it is even more sought after as a result of the hallmark, or, well, provenance mark would be more accurate, I suppose, just below the conjoined busts of the obverse on the coin. Now, the elephant and castle hallmark indicate that the gold the coin was struck from was obtained from the African Company of Merchants, the predecessor of the eventual Royal African Company, most likely mined from the Western African Gold Coast. It should be noted that not all period coins bear this particular hallmark, graded by PCGS as MS65 and sold by MDC of Monaco for 570,400 euros, or what comes out to around 667,500 US dollars at auction. When the Great Recoinage of 1816 took place, a large number of pattern coins were naturally created, not least of which was for the newly established sovereign coin, but also for a new standard silver crown or 5-shilling coin as well. Some of the best known of these patterns, in at least my opinion, were created by William Wyan, who would later go on to become chief engraver at the Royal Mint in 1828. The present pattern, of which there were only 18 minted in silver and a sparse 7 made in gold, borrows very heavily from the Cromwell coins minted in 1658, in both style and execution, although perhaps the word execution should be avoided when talking about Cromwell. But back to the point at hand, the coin is graded by NGC as Proof 65 Ultra Cameo and sold at auction by MDC Monaco for 595,200 euros, or 696,700 US dollars. The French gold 100 franc is usually an impressive sight to behold in any of its various guises through the years, whether it be the imperial issues of Napoleon III, the subsequent Republican coins, or even the very Art Deco-inspired early 20th century pieces. However, in 1860, the French Mint was getting ready to transition to a new obverse portrait of Napoleon III, adding a laurel wreath to the emperor's bust. These coins were issued en masse from 1862 onwards, but in 1861, a handful of presentation pieces were struck. It also so happens that no regular issue 100 franc gold coins were issued in the same year, making 1861, in effect, a proof-only issue. Graded by PCGS as SP66+, the coin sold at auction for 682,000 euros, or approximately 798,000 US dollars. The quintuple sovereign was created as Britain's largest gold coin in 1820, following the Great Recoinage of 1816. It was then only again minted in 1826 as a proof-only coin for George IV. Officially, no coins were then again minted until the Una and the Lion coin were added to the 1839 proof set. However, in 1831, a pattern of unrivaled detail and astonishing quality was created by chief engraver William Wyon. It is unknown exactly how many coins were minted of this pattern, but this is the finest of the approximately 6 to 10 surviving examples at a grade of Proof 66 Star Ultra Cameo from NGC that sold at auction for €1,017,000, or roughly $1,119,000 at the time. And then that leads us very neatly into the most expensive world coin to have sold at auction during 2020. And it is very fitting that it is none other than the coin which has been described time and time again as the most beautiful world coin ever created, certainly when speaking within the British catalogue at least. The British 1839 Una and the Lion quintuple sovereign. And it was a very good year for the Una and the Lion coin overall. Two Proof 61 and 62 graded coins were sold for $300,000 each throughout the year. Heritage managed to sell a PCGS graded Proof 64 Deep Cameo Una for $690,000 in January, and then in early May, Taisei of Japan sold a NGC graded Proof 65 Ultra Cameo example at auction for 86,500,000 yen, which comes out to around $811,900. But the crowning achievement goes once again to MDC of Monaco for the top-up NGC Proof 66 Ultra Cameo Una and the Lion that they sold for €1,017,000, or just about $1,120,000, setting up a new record for the coin in the process. Remember to take a look at the top 10 most expensive US coins of 2020 as well if you like this, and subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the little bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.